Let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at a phenomenon we all know entirely too well. Why do group decisions so often devolve into, well, absolute chaos? And more importantly, how can a really effective psychological framework actually fix them? Today, we're unpacking a concept called the shared pool of meaning. It's a framework that takes the messy, tangled web of group dynamics and gives us a clear, structured path to actual consensus.
So have you ever been in a meeting where everyone is yelling, but literally no one is listening? I want you to think about those deeply frustrating moments of group miscommunication, because it really highlights why today's topic is so incredibly relevant. You know the exact feeling, right? The tension rises, people start talking over each other, and suddenly the whole point of the meeting is totally lost in this sea of defensive arguments. Everyone's got an opinion, but nobody is actually absorbing a word the person next to them is saying.
Take this super relatable scenario from our source material. Imagine a local club, and they're just trying to pick a new logo. That's it. Just a logo. But instead of a fun brainstorming session, communication completely breaks down, and everyone is just yelling. I mean, it sounds kind of absurd when you say it out loud, but it happens all the time, right? People get super attached to their own ideas, egos clash, and the whole decision-making process just grinds to this painful, noisy halt.
Well, to solve this specific brand of chaos, we turn to the core concept of this framework, the shared pool of collective meaning. Think of this as a metaphorical reservoir for collective ideas during a group discussion. It's like a central space right there in the middle of the table where every single person has to contribute their unique perspective. Because to actually make a successful decision, you can't just have one or two loud voices dominating the room. You need every single bit of insight collected in this one shared space.
I love this quote from the text. Imagine a giant pool in the middle of the room. This is the shared pool of meaning. It perfectly illustrates the idea. For a group to make a truly great decision, whether it's picking that club logo or, steering a massive corporate strategy, everyone needs to feel completely empowered to put their ideas right into that central pool. When the pool is overflowing with all those diverse insights, the group has the maximum amount of information to work with. It's a total game changer.
But there's a huge contrast between the environment you need and the environment you actually get. Successful collaboration is literally only possible when a safe environment is established. In a hostile room where yelling is just the norm, participants completely withdraw. They hold back their best ideas just to protect themselves. But a safe room? That fosters real open communication, allowing those brilliant ideas to just flow freely.
And that brings us to this absolutely crucial point. If someone feels disrespected, they'll stop sharing, and the pool stays empty. Without a safe environment, people just withhold their insights. They mentally check out of the conversation. And when individuals withdraw because the room feels hostile, that metaphorical reservoir we talked about dries up entirely. Actually, scratch that. It doesn't just dry up, it guarantees poor decision-making, because now you're operating on a tiny fraction of the available intelligence in the room.
So how do we actually create this safety? It really comes down to two essential pillars: mutual respect and mutual purpose. And listen, these aren't just corporate buzzwords. They are the fundamental psychological conditions that absolutely must be met to keep people engaged and stop them from shutting down. The first pillar we have to establish is mutual respect. This simply means making sure all members feel valued. I know, it sounds super basic, but the impact is massive. If someone doesn't feel valued, their defensive walls go up immediately. They feel disrespected, and like we just saw, they stop sharing. Maintaining mutual respect is the absolute baseline requirement to make sure every single person feels their contribution is worthy of being heard.
Then we have the second pillar, which is mutual purpose. This is all about aligning with a common goal so that, basically, we both want the same thing. Let's go back to our yelling club members for a second. Even though they have wildly different opinions on what that logo should look like, they need to be reminded that they are deeply aligned on wanting what's best for the club itself. When you establish that mutual purpose, you shift the dynamic. It stops being a battle of egos and turns into a real collaborative effort toward a shared victory.
Bringing it all together, the progression here is super clear. Step 1, establish respect and purpose. This directly sets you up for Step 2, fostering open communication. And that open communication is exactly what lets you accomplish Step 3, filling the pool with diverse insights. Finally, a full pool virtually guarantees Step 4, achieving successful decision-making. The quality of any team's output depends entirely on their ability to foster this communication by making it safe to share.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on the next time you have to navigate a tricky group decision. In your next meeting, will you be filling the pool or draining it?
because every time you speak, and honestly, every time you listen, you are actively doing one or the other. If you remember those pillars of mutual respect and mutual purpose, you can build that safe environment. And you'll be amazed to watch how much better your team's decisions become when everyone finally feels safe enough to jump in.